It's the plug bus with Diego and Just. It's the plug bus with Diego and Just. It's the plug bus with Diego and Just. It's the plug bus with Diego and Just.
Welcome
to 2023.
Hashtag seasonless 2023. It is the plug plus. It is January, so you must be thinking, what's up with that? We're seasonless 2023. No blocks, just podcast through and through.
We're doing podcasts, we're doing post shows, we're doing plug pluses, we're doing main series, all in the same harvest.
Blocks.
I don't know.
Harvest
yeah,
season.
Same season.
Same season.
Like, but no
seasons.
Because the season is indefinite forever.
Yes.
So therefore, there's no point for a season.
Hashtag seasonless 2023, and we're hoping for a hashtag seasonless 2024, unless this gets way too hard.
Yeah.
In which case, we will go back to taking breaks.
I think
it'll be fine.
But
it is only January, so we'll see how we go. Welcome to the Plug Plus, now with video. So shout out to all my YouTube homies.
Hello.
And if you're checking this out on Spotify or some other scammy page,
Tidal.
Tidal.
That's what Jack and I were saying before.
That Tidal's a scam?
No. Well, like, does anyone listen to this on Tidal? Like, I wonder.
I have a friend. His name's Joey. He listens to everything on Tidal.
Podcasts as well?
I don't know if he listens.
I don't even know if our podcast is on Tidal.
I don't know if you can have podcasts on Tidal.
Who knows? But if you listen to this on Tidal, good job.
I guess. Yeah, right.
I think that's pretty impressive.
Should we upload our podcast to Bandcamp?
Oh, that sounds fun. I mean, why not? More reach, you know?
Yeah.
Stonks. Etc.
So welcome to the Plug Plus. Just what are we talking about
today? What's up with the Factory Theatre?
What is up with the Factory Theatre?
Are we starting beef, like, first episode? Is that what's happening?
I mean, like, I don't know if it's beef, because frankly, we are perfect and they don't have anything negative to say about us. That's a good point. We and other...
Yeah, I guess a beef
punters
involves there to be, like, you know, two sides to an argument here, and I don't know if they have any legs to stand on.
No,
you know?
this isn't Bloods and Crips. This is
plugs and
this is plug and these motherfuckers. There's no real argument to be made here. And if you're wondering, the Factory Theatre, was there a Wikipedia page for it?
No, I couldn't find one.
Shocker.
So I got their I've got their about who are we or who we are.
Sure, yeah. Who
I figured this would be a good way to start, so we can learn who the Factory Theatre is before tearing them to shreds.
Yeah, and you can learn from their words, not ours.
Yeah.
You know, and then we will.
Who we are. As a purpose-built, dedicated live entertainment venue, the Factory hosts an array of live music and performances, from international rock concerts to intimate cabaret shows. Sorry. I don't know why it's so funny to me, but like international rock to intimate cabaret, which is like shows. That's obviously the two extremes, you know.
Yeah. The two genders.
Film and dance as well. Yes. I think they do a lot of comedy shows there as well.
They do. I've seen a comedy show.
Crazy that they don't mention that here. But
it was in a shipping container.
The Factory brings a breath of fresh. Sorry, I can't take it seriously. I can't read this and take it seriously. The Factory brings a breath of fresh air to Sydney's entertainment scene, and a commitment to nurturing emerging performers and acts. Sorry.
So obviously, if you didn't get that, the Factory brings a breath of fresh air to Sydney's entertainment scene and a commitment to nurturing emerging performers and acts.
How nurtured do you feel, buddy?
I feel about as nurtured as a baby sea turtle.
Yeah, honestly.
I feel when I played at the Factory Theatre, and I'm sure many people agreed with me, it was like being a turtle emerging from its egg. No mother in sight, just sand and the ocean, and I had to fight for my life to get to my to get there. Okay.
Yeah. I guess that's a good place to start.
I think a good place to start might be setting the precedent. And, you know, just giving this the whole pretext of, first of all, we're just two guys on the internet. These are our opinions. Second of all, there are so many people who share these opinions. Third of all, deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, we're allowed to do this. And if I honestly would really appreciate anyone who is a part of maybe management at Factory Theatre or involved at all with, like, I don't know, the higher up stuff there. to reach out to us after watching this and give us any feedback they want to give us. But yeah, I think that's important precedent.
You can tell us why you think we might be wrong on stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because we could legitimately be wrong. There's a few parts I know we definitely aren't wrong about because of things.
Because of
experiences.
Because of primary and secondary sources.
Exactly.
Primary being stuff that's happened to us separately, not like on the same one occasion.
But yeah, I think the important thing to note is that like if you are a person who works at the Factory Theatre or something like that, and you're like, hey, I'm not doing any of this. Like, this isn't really directed at you, I suppose you could say. It's more directed at the system. The system, precisely. It's more of a systemic thing than anything else, and more calling out who's involved behind the scenes there, and I know who really gives these bookers who have a lot of problematic issues the opportunity to book gigs at their venue and stuff like that.
So the Factory Theatre is part of a much larger organisation known as Century Venues, I believe.
True.
And Century has other venues, great venues that I really enjoy watching gigs
Such
at.
as?
Enmore, I'm pretty sure.
Ah, sick.
Yeah, that's kind of the other thing.
I do enjoy watching gigs at
I like the Enmore Theatre. I've never really had a problem there, except that time my sibling-in-law was King hit.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. I don't know if it's really the Enmore.
I had to go see them in hospital. It's not on the Enmore, but that's the only sort of negative experience I've heard coming out of there. Other than that, great times.
Remember when the floor broke as well during the Genesis?
Yeah, but I don't think anybody really gave a shit.
I mean,
and it was fixed within a day.
It was fixed within a day for one, and like two, it seems like a bit of a freak accident, but like obviously it could have been expected from like if there's a sick gig, you're like, what are you gonna do? Not mosh, But like,
but also the floor collapsed.
It is pretty funny. But imagine it's like after like, I don't even know how long the Enmore Theatre's been around, but like years and years of people just going. Boom, boom,
I did like a lot of arguments. A lot of arguments were made that it was like they had like 2 years of no gigs. Why didn't they just fix the floor? Because it feels like they were ready for it to go. That's why they were able to get like people in like that. I guess because like it's probably cheaper to just let it break, clean it up, and then fix it rather than
I don't know. Like, it's worth the potential. Like
just
someone could have died.
Yeah, no, but. Can I break something to you?
Go.
What if they don't give a shit?
Yeah, I mean, they could not. You're right. You're right. But I mean, let's get back on topic.
Anyway, back on topic. We're not talking about Enmore. We're not.
So we've set the precedent. What is what's your personal experiences with like the Let's go through it all.
Yeah.
Primary sources.
Okay,
that's
primary sources.
We are
okay,
primary
so
sources.
I have been both an artist playing at the Factory and a punter seeing another artist play at the Factory.
How many times have you played Factory? Do you know?
A handful.
A handful.
Anywhere between like 3 and 5, I'd say.
Sick.
Right?
I played once.
There you go. Okay,
So,
sure.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I haven't played again. So
once is all you need. Once is all. I don't know why I kept going back there. Frankly,
I mean, when you're in a bunch of different bands.
Yeah, exactly. So, I did also see Gabby Bolt's debut comedy show there.
Sick.
She was great.
Fantastic.
Good on her.
And yeah, this isn't at all like the artists who perform through these venues, arguably the greatest victim of them all.
Yes.
And like not at all at fault here.
No.
I mean, if that's kind of a given, but like.
And I think the big thing is like the part that you were laughing at on the About Us page and the Who We Are is that they were nurturing emerging artists. And let me tell you, No,
God, no.
Not quite. Okay.
Not quite.
So if I like so many people listening to this podcast probably already know quite a bit about this. Yes. I would argue, but on all occasion and every occasion that I've played at the Factory Theatre, it's been a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
In terms of organisation, in terms of how the artists were sort of like looked at and treated in a little bit. Get this, Joss, could you imagine men being prejudiced against female artists?
I don't.
Could you imagine it?
I don't think it's possible. Like,
no, it would be crazy,
It
right?
couldn't be. That couldn't be a thing, right?
You're wrong.
Yeah, apparently I am.
Yeah. I've so many. I mean, I'm not a female artist myself, but lots of feedback from female artists and even female punters going to the Factory Theatre and feeling very uncomfortable. Constantly. That's a whole we'll get to that. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, it almost that's a problem that stems larger than the Factory Theatre. But still, when a specific venue perpetuates.
Perpetuates.
God, I got there, guys.
Yeah.
those vibes, it's never a good thing.
Never good.
And it is always the fault of the venue, I'd say. Like,
yeah, there's nobody else to really blame except the people in charge because they are also perpetuating this sort of thing.
Exactly.
You know? We're like, I don't want to like point my fingers at like the bar staff or even the door people if they have like set door people and point at them and say like it's your fault for not doing anything about it because you're just there to fucking make money and that's the system that we live in.
Yes.
However, I am more pointing at the people higher up who let these people make others feel uncomfortable. Anyway, where was I was listing all the reasons that factory theatre sucks.
I wanted to start with like one like big one. I think it's like the biggest one for me.
Sure. So, yeah. I don't know where to start. So you can start.
Let's just chuck Sunday Setlist out there.
Sunday Setlist. Okay, Sunday Setlist was something coming out of the pandemic. It was like one of the first gigs. It wasn't a thing before the pandemic. It was organised by two people specifically. I'm not going to name them right now.
We'll get there.
They'll probably get named in a bit. But it seems that I think pretty much every one of those 3 to 5 gigs that I've played was a Sunday set list.
Yes.
And I've seen couple of different Sunday set lists as well, not performing. And again, they've all been absolute nightmares.
Yeah, the one that I've played was a Sunday set list as well. And was with you guys.
Yeah, this was one that I was playing at as well.
So I think the big note from Sunday set list, first off, the first red flag, I guess.
Yeah. Red flags of the Sunday
$30 ticket on the door.
Yes.
So obviously you see that and you go, well, $30, that's pretty expensive for like a local gig. Obviously, you know, when you see a number like that, you think, great, these artists are getting like so much money from this. This is fantastic.
Yeah, $30.
But then you kind of unravel and you understand, oh no, that big number has much more negative like connotations to it than it does positive.
Yeah.
Like, especially for the artists.
And I think the biggest illusion is that like, for the kinds of lineups that we're playing of like local artists at these Sunday set lists, because they were just like handing them out to whoever wanted a gig, they would give it to them, and we know why now. I like the kinds of set like lineups that were playing these, I would pay $30 to go see.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
I mean, I did.
Yeah, I mean, I did on multiple occasions.
And I mean, the what they did to get you to like be like, oh, I'm interested is 2 tickets along with it. But like, you know, then they failed to mention that those 2 tickets can only get you like 2 different drinks pretty well, which is like, you know, a can of beer or like a can of like...
And they give you a food ticket as well, and that is good for a small chips.
Really?
Yep.
Damn.
Small chips. Nothing else.
Really?
Yeah, just chips.
Damn.
Just hot chips.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting already how to limit that. And I mean...
So if you have like a gluten intolerance, go fuck yourself.
Go absolutely fuck yourself.
Nothing more to say there. So that's the first problem.
And then, so basically the next problem stems from that is the paying of the artists, which is the next red flag.
This is the kicker.
This is really the kicker. This is kind of the thing that people saw and were like, something's not right about this. And so what's like basically every gig had a section where you can enter a code when you buy tickets online.
Yeah.
And that code obviously relates to any of the artists that are playing on the bill. So say, for example, I'll use the gig that we both played as an example. So I think it was... I just remembered something.
Yeah, that's another thing, yeah.
So Such Big Water, it was Blue Deem,
Electric Drive, maybe?
Electric Drive,
and Nebula Fuzz?
Yeah. Or it might not have been Electric Drive. Blue Deem, Nebula Fuzz, Such Big Water... Sunder, I'm pretty sure.
Sunder, sure, yeah.
So 4 bands that were, obviously we're in 2 of them and we're good mates with everybody else in the other bands. They're all from our hometown. So like, you know, it was a bit of like a fiesta. It was good. It was good.
It was great. It was a great lineup.
It was a bunch of people and, you know.
One of the first gigs out of the pandemic as well.
And all signs here pointed to, you know, if you were going to that gig, you weren't going to see one band, you're going to see all the bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess that's the problem here is that like this system for like if like, you know, when you buy a ticket you put in a code that's like relates to the band that you're going to see, and like I guess like how is it like actually advertised on the website? Like why are they saying put in the code?
There is no explanation whatsoever on the websites, and in fact like the actual like website itself is like just set up so badly where it's like impossible to navigate any other way. So like Josh was saying, $30 tickets, you put a code in when you buy the ticket online. All right, you put a code in when you
Mind
buy.
you, it's not necessary to put a code in. You can just leave it blank if you
Yeah,
want
you
to.
can just leave it blank.
Which opens many questions.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got the emails. I've got receipts. Okay. I've got the fucking receipts. Okay. So you put a code in, and that code that you put in. So let's say you put in water for such big water.
That's what it was. Oh, Weirda.
All big Weirda, as advertised on the Facebook.
Yes, that's
page.
right. They thought our band name was Big Weirda.
Big Weirda.
With the big old I in between the W and A in water.
Yeah. Big Weirda. No such.
Not even like waiter. Like
No. Weirda.
Weirda.
Yeah. So that code that you put in, only that band gets money from the ticket that you purchased.
Correct.
Only that band. So if you are going to see all 4 bands and you put in the code water, Weirda, whatever, only Such Big Water gets paid from any of that $30.
Correct. And you're probably thinking, oh, okay, no worries. I just won't put a code in. From what I can assume, if you don't put a code in, none of your money goes
none
to
of the money
bands,
goes to the band whatsoever.
which is insane. Where does that money go? Straight into the pockets of
$30
the booker, I guess.
again. $30 for cans. Not even like you can't even get a schooner.
No.
Cans, which let's say if you buy a case, how much you would know how much is a case of beer from at a venue?
What kind of beer?
VB,
VB, $50 to $60,
and you get 24 cans in that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's like not even $2 per can.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, what the fuck's going on here?
What the fuck's going on? What the fuck? Like, okay, in terms of drinks, I understand you have to make your money. No, like you're not going to pay $2 for a can of anywhere unless you fucking buy a case yourself.
Exactly.
No matter what. But when you are charging people $30 to see a band, and then some people don't even fucking drink, man.
No,
like,
God, like what are you supposed to do then?
what are you supposed to like?
2 waters?
They won't. They will charge you for the waters. They will ask you for a drink ticket or charge you for waters. So. Obviously, no code, no band gets paid. $30 of your money goes straight to the who knows. Who knows?
Like, I guess at that point, like it's getting split between factory and the booker. I'm guessing the booker has a big like part to play in this.
The booker being one person, by
Yes.
the way, one person.
So it's like, I don't know, it's all very fishy and sketchy.
Also, this booker had a bet with the second person that I brought up earlier at the start of like the year before they kicked off the Sunday set lists, and then whoever like won the bet had to get the other person like an expensive bottle of whiskey, right? And he won the bet basically to say that like I pulled this off. So that's fun.
That's fucked, man.
So that's a bit.
I was
So
gonna
that's
say,
interesting.
I have not seen a Sunday set list pop up in a while.
No, I think they can. I think they canned it.
Which is good.
Which is great, and I think there are I think there's a much better event on. I don't know if it's on Fridays or on Sundays.
And I was going to say, yeah, like hopefully this is like, I don't know, a step in the right direction.
Hopefully we are talking about something in the past. However, it does need to be addressed because
it was crazy that
they have
and they got away with it.
They have effectively scammed hundreds of people
and got away with it.
And gotten away with it. And emerging artists who they are supposed to be nurturing, by the way.
And so like to use our example again from that gig,
yeah,
because this is the reason we haven't really played there again, is because for that gig, I think, how many people do you reckon showed up?
A bunch.
Like maybe like 30, 40 people.
I reckon more than that.
Yeah, possibly. We had, unfortunately, only one person put in water for the code.
Which is fair enough.
It was their second gig ever.
It was their second gig ever, and they were on a lineup full of bands from Camden.
Yeah, we were the kind of the lone wolf in that lineup. I'm really the only connection to everybody else in that band.
Yeah.
Like Isaac had never met anybody else.
People not putting in the code. Sure,
yeah,
that makes sense. We're not taking it out on the people not putting in Weirda.
Shout out to Spencer. We love you, bro.
So Spencer, of those $30 that you spent, Joss, how much of that went to the band?
We got drum roll please. $3.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah. So a gig where the tickets were priced at $30 and maybe between 30 and 50 people showed up. We got $3 of that. I mean, we didn't even get $3 of it because we said, go fuck yourselves, you can keep it.
That's like between $900 and like $1,500.
Probably, yeah.
Right? Is that math right? I think that's right.
I think sounds right to me.
So like, what's the median of that? It's like fucking $1,200. Yeah, $1,200, right?
Yes, sure.
Roughly $1,200. $1,200 was made just from ticket sales at this gig.
So
and $3 went to one of the
bands.
bands.
People who have organized an event before,
that's not how it works.
You pay $200 of that to your sound guy.
Yep.
You probably...
Another point I would like to get. Go on.
we'll get there. 200 sound guy. I wonder if there's any photographers involved at all. I mean, I don't think there was at that gig. I mean, after you pay a sound guy, who else have you got to pay besides the band?
And the venue does not organize photographers for you. No. So like, even if you were to have even if you were to have a photographer, and the cheapest photographer in town is like $100, right, for a set.
And that's out of your pocket.
And then that's out of your pocket. That doesn't come out of the venue whatsoever. So
yeah, hopefully you're thinking.
So if you had somebody take photos at the gig, you actually spent $97. Mind you, lots of gigs, especially if you're a local act, you perform at a loss. $97, probably not that much of a loss.
No. So yeah, like I said, we just basically just ignored them. We're like, it's $3. We're not.
You keep it.
Yeah, like keep it. Like, it's not that. Like,
so
why would we ever invoice for $3?
Yeah. So again, like I said, the website is very difficult to navigate. It has a very linear sort of code where it's like you put in the code or it doesn't work, or you can't like navigate any other way. Basically, so. For, let's say, somebody who isn't as well attuned to using their phone or a computer or the internet whatsoever, they say, fuck it, I'm just going to go buy a ticket on the door when I get there. No problems, right?
Problems,
obviously. Like we said before, if there's no code, all that money goes straight to the venue. If you pay a ticket at the door, none of the bands you're saying gets any money from.
Yeah, fucked up.
Very fucked up.
And I'm pretty sure, so from what I understand with that specific gig as well, is like, I really don't know like who got the most like codes put in. I'm guessing it was the Blue Deem headline show, so I'm guessing you guys got the most. You guys didn't even get paid like,
I think we got paid like
$70 or something, right?
I think less, like 60 maybe.
Like, that is insane.
For 50 people rocking up to a gig, that is insane.
Like, oh my god,
so like I mean
that's just like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. I mean, think of it this way: like 50 people spent $30, and we got $50. Like that's like $1.20 per person that goes to one artist. $1.20 per person there.
10% of the ticket that Spencer bought actually went back to us in the band.
Yeah.
10%.
By the 10%. Way, and need we remind you, a band is not one person as well. Like
exactly. Like this is $3 split between 4 people. Everybody.
Yeah.
This is 80 cents each. What can we get with 80 cents? Like I don't know. Maybe a.
You can't even get a bag of Red Frogs at the canteen anymore for that.
No, goddamn.
They're like $1 or $2 now. What can you get with 80 cents? I can't think of anything you can get for 80 cents.
We might have to pull our money and buy like a
You would have
lollipop.
made more money if you gathered 8 water bottles and just put them in a collection center.
So true.
Isn't that fucked? Like, that's insane.
We could have probably made money cleaning up all the cans off the floor at the factory.
Yes, yes, you absolutely could have.
Yeah, it's funny.
Anyway, so there's that. So there's the ticket problem, which to me is probably one of the bigger ones.
And to me, this whole thing stinks of we've just come out of lockdown. There's a bunch of bands that are really desperate to play a show. This is just
emerging,
simply like
taking
two
advantage.
People taking advantage and just preying on like
young bands.
Like a lot of these bands are like Nebula Fuzz. Like when we played that gig, I don't think many of them were much older than 18, 19 years old.
And like
how is an 18, 19 year old supposed to know any better? You know, like they probably thought, oh sweet, we got $20.
Yeah, that's actually probably a really big point to make of this, is that like emerging artists, like a lot of young bands were forming at that time because they just had 2 years off.
Yes.
They probably made a bunch of really good music in that time. And they wanted to play a gig and they got stuck with the fucking Factory Theatre.
Yeah.
Because they were desperate.
Exactly. And like you were saying before, like Factory just hopped on it. And like I saw so many bands play that.
So many.
And like every single time I saw it pop up, I'm just like, wow, I'd like to play one of those. Like this looks awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Because the lineups were so good.
And then you go through it and you learn, maybe not.
Here's okay. Something I wouldn't mind adding is actually, so the turnout of the people and the whole vibe of the audience there, which has nothing to do with the Factory, mind you, was like, I had fun at those gigs.
Yes.
Right? Until you look at the backside of it, basically, which is all just rubbish.
Yeah, for sure.
So like I said before, like lots of female artists and punters feeling super uncomfortable or like constantly, to the point where I think the person like got called out more than a few times and just stopped showing up to the gigs, but was still like very much a part of
everything, yeah.
of everything. Yeah,
wow.
So
should he name drop this person?
Okay,
is it time? How much time have we got until? Sorry. Also shout out to our camera for only being able to record for 30 minutes.
I'd like to anti-plug the person because of taxes. Maybe we should do an episode about taxes and about how it affects our ability to record video. I think that'd be a good
part of the spoilers anti-work episode that we have.
Oh, the Gripecast.
The Gripecast.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
We're gonna do an anti-work episode.
So this guy's name is Tal.
Tal.
I don't know anything else about him except for the fact that he's a fucking creep. That he took advantage of lots of young emerging artists that they were supposed to be nurturing, and got away with it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm sure. I mean, his reputation is a bit scratched, but only within the circle, legit. The circle that we're in, basically, of the artists.
Not to mention, he's I don't know how old he is, but he's old enough to
know what he's doing is wrong.
Correct, and for he could well have been doing what he's been doing for decades.
Yeah, and not
have faced any repercussions for it whatsoever.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm sure no, I'm not sure. I know his reputation is scratched from again, this circle that we're sort of in, and the people that are listening to this podcast, a majority I'd say, but it does seem he's got enough quite scot-free, and he's still booking gigs at the Metro.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he's opened up a little electronic music gig, DJ stuff at the Metro Lair, that little side stage now that they've got going on, which again, the venue looks great, but I mean, scumbag, right?
Scumbag, baby. Right? I know there's another person involved as well, but I don't know how involved / if you want to name drop them.
Well, because
I'm so this is the part where I'm kind of not as
well. Okay, maybe it's not entirely necessary to name drop them because I'm sure that it also went past them in terms of a hierarchy of people that perpetuated this sort of thing. And I'm also pretty sure that he's in charge of more than just the Factory Theatre. So who knows? I'm and again, it could be.
Yeah, we're getting to the boundary of stuff we don't know.
Stuff we don't know, and therefore probably shouldn't. And stuff we haven't had direct involvement with.
Correct. And so, but this stuff about Tal is stuff we are certain of, and we know, and we are we have people who we're going to talk to later in the podcast that have their own experiences.
Yeah, this is the boundary of what we know and therefore should probably talk about. I would also like to just take this moment really quick to any venue or promoter who says, get here at 2:00, your set's at 8:00. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Right, you do not need to be at your gig 6 hours before you gotta play.
Especially when you fucking get to your gig and they've told you that you're at the wrong stage and you are there for fucking 5 hours waiting for any sound guy to turn up, which another point on the payment things. Has Robbie done sound there before?
I don't know.
I think he might have mentioned that he's done sound there before. And on the spreadsheets, it says that, and I'm certain that they don't send the spreadsheet to everybody because otherwise they would be able to see some discrepancies.
Yes.
I am pretty certain at some point Robbie said the sound guys absolutely do not get paid as much as it says on the spreadsheet. So that's probably an extra $100, $150 that goes to the venue that you think is going to a sound guy.
There you go.
And sound guys, also a bit of an issue that multiple people have had at the factory is in terms of them being just rude. First of all, second of all, not very fucking good.
No. I mean, this is probably maybe stemming into problems with the factory itself.
Yeah.
But I have been to, remember that we went to a gig,
Manning's?
No, Grace.
Oh yeah,
we went to Grace at the Fuse Box.
Oh my god,
Grace! If you're listening, you were fantastic.
You're awesome.
Killed it. The room was fucking huge,
packed as I've ever seen it.
Such a great vibe.
And everybody had a good time,
but the sound was god awful.
I couldn't fucking hear.
Really, just
irked me.
It irked me. Yeah, it kind of ruined the experience.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to take this moment to fucking shout the fuck out Grace real quick because Grace put so many people on the door, I assume to avoid all the crap with the tickets and stuff like that.
Legit, yeah.
Respect.
Legit.
Respect. My God.
Get around that shit.
What a flex.
All right, we got a minute until that thing, guys. So we're going to take a intermission.
Yeah, this is not really. It's
going to be
this will be a common thing on the Plug.
But after the intermission, we'll get some feedback. I guess. Should we go straight into the feedback from people who have been more involved with Factory?
We're going to take a quick break. I'm sure whoever's editing this episode will have something to say in the intermission, whether it's goofy or not. We will be hearing from punters and artists alike, and then in the second half of this podcast.
See you there. And we're back. Okay, so we have lined up a few gripes with the Factory Theatre. Not from us, because you've heard enough about our. We've gone through our primary sources.
Yeah, so it's time to hit up the books. Yeah. Let's look at the receipts.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're like, this is just two guys with a whole bunch of thoughts and opinions. But don't worry, we got a lot of people here to also express their own.
Yeah, And
boy,
they got some opinions to express.
Who's our first caller? Are we allowed to? Some of these will be anonymous. Some of them
they didn't really specify if they wanted to stay anonymous or not. So maybe we'll just call them and
then ask.
Ask.
But this person did used to work at the Factory.
This person worked at the Factory Theatre briefly while the Sunday set list was going on and was upset about it. It was also this person's also in a band or two. Some bands that are, I must say, doing pretty well.
But
I digress. Okay.
Maybe
let's give this a crack. If the audio's bad, deal with it.
It won't be. Just good to hold up to the mic.
For our YouTube listeners, we are getting close and personal.
Here we are, guys.
It's a bit quiet, isn't it? Hey, bro. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Hey, do you want to stay anonymous or?
Yeah, we'll stay anonymous.
Okay, yeah, I respect that.
Good
So,
choice.
welcome. We have spent about the last half an hour talking about everything wrong, everything that was wrong, at least with the Factory Theatre. We don't know what's wrong with it currently because we haven't been there because of everything that was wrong with
Correct.
it. So, that's the spiel. So it's been about half an hour of us just talking shit. Reasonably so, I would argue. Do you think half an hour is enough time to explain everything wrong with the Factory at this moment?
I mean, I feel like you could definitely get across the board everything that's wrong.
But
some of the specifics as to what goes on with, sort of the predatory behaviour across, all the young bands in the scene.
Oh.
I feel like there's so many stories from, young bands or upcoming bands that, you could talk about it for hours.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, this sounds scripted, but...
Yeah, we did mention that specifically.
Yeah.
Not 5 minutes ago.
That was a pretty incredible response. Not gonna lie. So, I mean, if you wouldn't mind, I mean, do you want to get into the specifics of you said predatory behavior, and that's obviously not just a word to drop. But I think we did use the word preying upon younger artists and other people.
That's probably a better accusation to throw in their direction so that I don't get sued.
Okay.
Completely
anonymous. Yeah. Okay, so, you worked there for a bit, right? Just at the bar?
That's correct. I did about 6 months.
Okay, right.
9 months, around that length of time.
If you could sum up those 6 to 9 months in just a few words, what do you think you would say?
Sorry, I've got somebody whispering at me.
Is it your lawyer?
Yeah, that's actually a good... They gave me the perfect word, snaky.
Snaky, okay.
Look, my employment was pretty rough the entire time I was there. I'd say one of the figureheads of the company of Century Venues that overlooks the Factory Theatre would constantly run the booking team into the ground.
Damn.
Nothing would ever be good enough.
Yeah.
Regardless of how long you'd been there, and that eventually led to the resignation of a couple of big, the head booking agent and another booking agent in just the 9 months that I was there.
Wow.
Just because they were fed up.
And this was fresh out of the pandemic, effectively, as well.
So I started pretty much as soon as gigs were coming back.
Yeah. And that's around the same time Sunday Set List kicked off.
Correct, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, well, Sunday Set List had been going for about a year and a half.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Because the idea behind Sunday Set Lists, which I've just pulled up the performance agreement that I still have, just to actually decide.
We got the deep source here.
The whole idea was that it's an industry initiative to link local indie bands with dedicated music venues during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it was they put out sort of the idea that it was helping local bands
Yeah.
Yes.
to get back into the scene.
Yeah.
So that was actually through the pandemic. And look, I can't speak for when it first kicked off as to how the shows were performing or if they were actually beneficial or if they were ran well. But definitely in the time that I was there, I sort of just got pushed into that program. They sort of just palmed it off to me because they were done with it. The head booker and the other booker that were taking care of it, they just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I was having a look through the bands that had played it in the past.
Yep.
And I'd say probably a third of the shows that I had a look at, on the actual profit loss sheet, there was at least a band that walked away losing money.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Owing money to the factory theatre because they were being charged for techs.
Me.
And the only way to get paid from those shows is obviously by using a ticket link.
Yes, which we went in depth, which we explained in depth to, which of course, as us three know, is complete and utter rubbish, and no gig should ever function like that.
No, God no.
Man, if a band's playing a show, they should at least have some sort of guarantee.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To get them there.
Yeah.
I don't understand why this would ever be the case where a band would owe money to a venue to show up.
It's crazy.
The Sunday set list in the Factory Theatre is the only situation of especially local emerging acts where it's like the only situation I've seen somebody owe any money to the venue. No other venue has been pay up. I know you brought 15, 20 people here, but pay up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's not like they're not making money off the drinks and everything else that comes through the door. So I don't know. I was that was probably the thing that I was most firmly against the Sunday set list.
Yeah.
And that was the reason why I ended up eventually leaving after seeing those spreadsheets where bands were losing money. I think I actually messaged Diego and we were just talking shit for a little bit.
I do recall actually.
But yeah, even some of the other programs they attempted to run, it's not just the Factory Theatre, it's Century venues in general.
Damn. This goes all the way to the top.
This goes all the way to the top.
Yeah, they brought me in to run a couple of different programs at their other venues. I'll keep it as broad as possible.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which were just underfunded, and it ended up meaning that I had to send offers to bands that were just nowhere near where they deserved to be paid.
Yeah, gotcha. Of course.
And then the minute the shows weren't succeeding because bands wouldn't want to come up for half of their guarantee, then it's all on the booker's head, and you get abused in the office.
Yeah, shit.
Jesus Christ.
So it goes. I mean, from the sounds of it, it goes deeper than just the preying upon young artists. It seems like, I mean, not to give anything away, but you're not an old dude. And these older people were just, I mean, it sounds like not just you, but you. It sounds like you were taken advantage of and dare I say, abused.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd say there was probably 3 or 4 people around my age in the office, and I don't think any of them have survived past when I resigned. I think they all resigned around the same time.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And yeah, I mean, it's just a general greed in the industry, which is not what we need.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, especially from somebody as fucking big as Century, who has probably the closest thing to a monopoly on venues in Sydney.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They do. 100%.
Yeah.
Think about they've got a venue at pretty much every size in the area.
That's right.
And yeah, they hunt out pretty much everyone they can. They actually reach out to touring artists to get them in their venues.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's very greedy.
It's scary.
Very snaky.
It is scary, yeah.
Yeah.
Snaky.
Yeah. Absolutely snaky.
Snaky as.
Yeah. All right. Should we
Well, if you have any final remarks, go ahead and give them to us. But it's been very insightful, and we appreciate you coming on. Well, anything else you'd like to say?
2 words. Fuck Century.
Yeah.
And,
Woo.
I'll take my leave. Thanks for having me on.
Nah, you're good.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was excellent.
What's going on here?
What's going on where?
Looks like we're almost out of charge.
Okay, we might have to postpone that, but that was
insightful.
That was very insightful.
That was really cool.
Thank God somebody knows more than us, or we would look like idiots.
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
for sure.
So you heard it.
Yeah. I mean, what we got a possible 20 minutes left. Do we think it's going to last 20 minutes? I mean, why did it... Like, it was lasting a while before, and now it's just, like, gone tanked. Should we stop it and then... Like, should we just keep going until it runs out and then put it on charge?
Okay, let's do that.
Right,
okay. So that was incredibly insightful.
Yeah, I want to go through now because you made a Facebook status on the...
oh, yes, on the Plug Facebook group.
Plug Facebook group recently. Just like an hour ago, maybe, if that. Just so we could get some insight into what other people who have perhaps played gigs there or have attended gigs there and see what they have to say. Let's just go through. I'll keep them anonymous as well here. Someone said, I once played a gig where our band was allocated to the Fusebox room in the email and the official posters, which is the room that's like right down the bottom, right? The Fusebox?
No, Fusebox is up top. The factory floor is down the bottom.
Okay, there you go. And after turning up and waiting 2 hours for our sound check, we were told that they were waiting on us to play another stage and had to set up and play in 10 minutes. So miscommunication there. Yep. It seems like is a big problem with their organisation skills.
Like miscommunication to the point of like a performing artist's detriment. Not just like miscommunication to be like, oops, sorry, we'll get that fixed up. Kind regards, Century Venues. You know, it's like, no, you need to get here in 10 minutes and play the set or we're going to fucking scream at you, basically. Yes. So that's just one humble little explanation from there.
We're back again for the third time.
So the battery
on our camera ran out as we were pointing at it, going like, what's up with that?
Yeah, so we'll see how that looks.
Hey, look, first podcast with the camera. Actually, second, but hence the other one being the issue into why this one has taken so long to get out. But we're here, we're doing it. Should we get right into our next call?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
okay.
I think we should.
Also an anonymous caller, but I feel like this one's going to be more directed towards Tao themselves and who they are and why they are a piece of shit. But like
that is an opinion.
It is an opinion, but I mean it's our opinion.
That is a
we're allowed to
shared opinion.
And so yeah.
So let's crack into this next one, shall we? Hopefully they pick up because that would be awkward. So that was a very interesting call.
It was.
To hear from the inside, Here comes the next one. Hope you enjoy it. Hope the battery doesn't run out.
Hello, hey. Anonymous caller. How are you going today?
I'm excellent, boys. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, as we were just saying to before, what were we just saying before? We just got off the phone with someone who works at the Factory Theatre. Worked. Past tense. We got all the insight onto that level, but we wanted to focus more, I guess, now on who the people are behind, like, the Sunday set list, mainly Tao, and who they are. And I know you've had some experience just, like, searching the interwebs and stuff like that and seeing some things that they've posted that have been somewhat questionable. So we want to talk to you about that.
Oh, you want the goss?
We want the goss.
Yeah, we want the goss.
I can spill some tea.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Some tea is great.
Yeah. So look, my only real run-ins with Tao, although he doesn't even know, it's just me coming across his Facebook post.
Yes.
Yeah. So there was one particular one in November 2020. I can get some quotes for you because it's.
I would love some quotes.
We had a look and it's
full of quotes.
I would say it's past somewhat questionable, as you said earlier.
Yeah. I was just having a think about it before, and I was like, people have been cancelled for a lot less.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
So look, Facebook post on his personal profile, in late November 2020. So he's gone on this giant rant about, quote him, the Chinese.
The Chinese.
Not a good start.
Not a good start.
Not a good start.
No, and look, I think contextually there was something in the media at this time about perhaps them, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
An oil rig or something like that. I don't know.
There was a motive behind the rant, but it doesn't justify anything that was said.
Absolutely, yeah. Context, but not an excuse.
There was a prompt, but yeah.
Yeah, and then so he goes on this 3-paragraph rant about how the Chinese just need to get their asses kicked by Australians, and then gets to finish it off with something along the lines of they need to stop carrying on like a pack of good sorts with synchronized menstrual cycles.
Like, where did that come from?
Where did the menstrual cycle thing come from?
Weird way to out yourself as both a racist and misogynist.
Legit, like, it's like, thanks for like letting us know all of the above while we're in the one post.
Yeah.
We're glad we could get it all out of the
Two
way.
birds with one stone.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure they put their phone down and were like, just another day as a social justice warrior. Just another day defending this beautiful country on the internet.
Yes.
Exactly. And so he did delete this, maybe I think it was the next day, but only really after he started getting a few negative reactions, right? Like a few artists commented on it saying, hey, bud, not cool.
Yeah.
And getting some angry reacts as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a given, you know, and like, I don't know, it's just so crazy to see someone probably, like we were trying to guess an age beforehand, but like, you know, he's obviously been around for a while and is experienced, and obviously that age might be a factor, a part of this, but like, still, you'd think that there'd be a bit of maturity, a bit of like, I know, like self-realization of like what you're, you know, like how you're going to be perceived by other people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And if he is of an age where he has experience in the industry, he should well and truly know that he's not allowed to be, or he definitely shouldn't be spurting opinions.
Absolutely.
As disgusting and dangerous as that.
Precisely.
In a very public sphere. Like, I was not his Facebook friend and I could still see that.
Exactly, yeah. Like, it didn't take much.
This wasn't like fucking high-ranking a current affair internet sleuthing, you know?
Yeah.
No. This wasn't...
Some PI, right?
Yeah, this wasn't buried deep in some niche subreddit. This was this guy's personal Facebook profile that was open to the public.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think it's pretty telling of the Factory Theatre as a venue. Like, and the Factory Theatre was getting tagged in the comments, and like I tagged them when I called this out on my Insta stories as well.
Yes.
It's pretty telling of them as a venue to continue working with him. Not respond to anything. They're just happy.
And what I mean, I don't know if you know, but he's currently booking gigs at the Metro, I'm pretty sure. So yeah.
So jump ship into another, and so like, you know,
and I'm pretty sure the Metro is Century as well.
Yeah. So like,
he still works for them.
We've learnt a lot over this episode, and one thing is that he's still working for the overarching like I guess booker or just venue owner. I suppose.
Yeah, and we had the last caller we had on, like, explicitly said it's not just Factory, it is Century Venues as a whole that sort of takes advantage of people and even their workers and stuff like that. So I mean, there is some questionable sort of stuff going on.
Yes. But yeah, no, I guess that's all we've got time for, but we appreciate you coming on and talking about this.
Sure.
It's been good.
No worries. Rip into him. Go on.
Thank you very much. We'll speak again soon.
All good.
All right. See ya.
Bye. So yeah, kind of a piece of shit. Even if it was in late November 2020, it's only 2023. Not much as time has passed, and that person, I mean, again, you'd assume has been in the industry for very long, has quite a solid position in the industry. So you'd think that, you know, I mean, if he's been this way up until this point, I don't think there's any evidence to say that like there's no way that he's changed in the past 2 years, right? No,
sorry, I was just reading some more questions.
We can go back to the Facebook post because that's where we're up to.
I think we should definitely get through the rest of these things. What's worrying me now is I don't even see the battery thing, but that's fine. Let's just keep going until we die. If we die, we die, you know? If he dies, he dies.
Yep, I hear that.
All right, so, we already said the one about this person here. Here's a good one, which could be more in reference to
the Grace gig that we mentioned earlier.
We won't talk about who exactly it is, but they basically said their in-house engineer left during load-in to go to another venue, forcing our personal sound engineer to run the whole night without paying her fully for her services. If we didn't bring our own engineer, there would be no one to do any of the production. So I can only assume that is why the sound was such a shit show.
Yeah.
Because this person's probably working on, you know, equipment they've never
used before. We're not expecting to use that night.
And I can imagine the equipment itself is probably not, you know, up to standard.
I know for a fact it's not very good.
All up to scratch to be able to be used in, you know, the way it's being used.
Yeah.
So that's just very, very telling. Terrible everything. Sound staff will literally take stuff out of settlements, kind of what we spoke about before. Completely unheard of in any venue. I've actually boycotted putting shows on there. we're glad you have, because we have to. I mean, not that I was going to put a show on there anyway, but you know.
But no, I never will.
Yeah.
So, and I think a big takeaway from this is that if you are planning on booking shows or want to play a gig, don't do it.
Yeah, no,
maybe. I mean, it is up to the individual, and
Absolutely.
you know how you see Century venues as it is right now, with your, you know, forming your own opinions. We don't want you to say, hey, take our opinions and run with it. We want you to form your own opinions based on with a start.
Yes.
Yeah. With some background information on what has transpired over the past couple of years.
Absolutely.
Now.
Yeah.
What else is on the Facebook post?
The way Sunday Setlist would organise how much pay each artist would receive was fucking terrible.
Yep.
So true. We've already spoken about that.
Very true.
I will out this one person because
it's funny.
It's funny. Marcus Hoon said, "Just loop me in because I'm a petty bitch who likes drama." So
do we.
Congratulations, you've been looped in. We have another commenter say the Sunday Setlist pay setup is horrible, which we've also spoken about.
Yep.
Like, you organise a gig with all your homies and then you have to compete to take money out of your friends' pockets.
Excellent point.
An excellent point I really didn't even think about.
And again, it is not something that happens at any other venue.
No, absolutely not. When we did it and found out the pay structure, every band on the lineup just agreed to never give out a code and just take it even pay splits, which is obviously a bad deal for the headliner who brings in the big crowd, but less of two evils. So it seems like what they're saying is they might have just said, no, we don't want to do this, and kind of like force them to be like, give them a settlement, which is honestly like a good choice. Well, I wouldn't even thought to do.
Well, because this is like the biggest thing. Like it goes back to like the taking advantage of the younger artists who don't know as much. You know, like, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, like, and like a younger artist who sees this sort of thing would just run with it. No, none of them would. They wouldn't think to be like, hey, this isn't right. Can you just pay us normally? Because it seems that if you ask for it, they'll do it because they don't want you to fucking talk shit.
They don't want you to go tattle to someone else, kind of like we are right now.
And we are tattling, so deal with it.
But yeah, no, shout out to you for, you know, sorting them out.
Yeah.
Setting them straight.
Yeah.
Plus, they also said the sound guy we had literally ignored all the girls in our band, again, stemming off what we said before, and we had to have a friend pose as our manager to get him to take our sound issues seriously. That is insane.
That like actually sums up the whole
the battery's
vibe.
Back. Okay, the battery's flashing, so we probably have like 5 minutes, but I mean, we're already running out of time as is.
Well, we have we have about 10 minutes left.
Anyway, so let's start to wrap this one up. But there's a big comment here that I want to get into.
May I?
Yeah.
Because I haven't actually read it, so I think me reading it. Okay. As an attendee, I almost had a meltdown because they didn't have door tickets anymore, and ticket tech person just argued with me instead of helping me get a ticket. It took ages for them to do anything, said no to my suggestions on how to take the payment. Eventually, someone else from the venue noticed and suggested something they already told me no to, but in the end, I'm happy it all kept glitching on the ticket tech website because someone gave me a free ticket.
Oh, nice.
That's a W for you, punter. The gig had a weird vibe though. A woman came out and took away all the set lists before the show was over, and it almost caused a big fight over set list. A large butch lady dug her nails into me because I tried to get one, and I got given an unused set list because this caused a really uncomfortable scene. Felt really upset about the rest of the gig and about getting grabbed like that. There's just a lingering discomfort there.
And then Angus Ellens let me call
Angus
which we are not going to let happen because we know for a fact you have nothing to add to this
He has never been to Sydney.
No.
So, and another person said, some old dude kept talking to me about AC/DC and I couldn't escape. And that pretty much sums it all up, doesn't it?
Yes. So if you've ever played a gig at Factory Theatre and
been to a gig at Factory Theatre,
had a shit time, you are not alone. This is obviously quite a common issue.
Yes.
And I'm glad that we're finally getting a chance to speak about it.
I don't think it's fair to venues who do the right thing to just like act like nothing's going on.
Correct.
So this is more of a reminder to say, hey, when you go to a venue and you enjoy yourself and everything's airtight, give them a pat on the back. You know,
exactly,
just go back to that venue. Give them more of your money. Don't give your money to fucking these motherfuckers.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Appreciate it.
Fuck Factory Theatre.
Obligatory Factory Theatre.
Fuck anyone that's involved in Sunday set lists.
Yep.
Glad that shit's over. Potentially.
Yep.
Just remember who the names of the people we said were. Tal and I mean that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
But like, just keep that name in mind and fresh when you're doing gigs, when you're going to gigs. If you see them. And just know that they're a terrible person. And
I guess if you are a younger person or somebody not as experienced in the whole band thing, just push. Don't be afraid to just be like, get fucked.
Ask questions.
You have rights.
Speak to your friends. Speak to us.
Speak to your friends. Speak to us. Speak to the Plug Facebook group, which you can join.
Yes. Wow,
cheeky
nice.
little plug there. Thank you. Yeah. That pretty much wraps us up.
Yeah, nice. We'll see you in the next episode, whatever that may be.
I'm not really sure. Thanks. Fuck the Factory Theatre.